that in your paper there will be a question, either question 1 or question 2 is going to test your ordinary share capital note and your retained income note. Those two things are always tested. So in this paper they're testing the ordinary share capital. Now with the ordinary share capital, you must always remember, it's always at the top is the opening, at the bottom is the closing. And here it can either be issue repurchase or it can be repurchase issue. Okay. Now, when we do repurchase, can you now see here the issue is here, so I know the repurchase is going to be here. And what you do before you do anything else is you bracket the units and the rand. That's the first thing you do. And you say to yourself, at average. Now what you can see here is that the repurchase and the closing is friends. Okay. It will either be the repurchase and the closing, then it means that the average is going to be the same for both. Right? Does that make sense? Or if it's the opening and then the repurchase, then their average will be the same. Does that make sense? So, now if I look, what info did they give me? And you guys, they are so nice, because usually they give you the info with headings. But in this case, so where do I find capital? I find capital in financial position. Financial position is your balance sheet. In grade 12, because we're doing companies, it's important that you know the different names. Okay. So, now let's look. Is there a capital? Yes. There's the ordinary share capital. Be careful not to take the shareholders' equity. Now, can you see? They gave me nada. So now I want to go look for extra information. And can you see they give you headings? In bold, there's the share capital. So now let's go look. They say, on 1st June, so many shares were in issue. Now, I said that yesterday as well. Be very sure. Can you see here, this is a weird financial year. It ends 31st May. It's a weird year. So always, in the papers in June and the prelim especially, get into the habit of going to look when the financial year is, because it's so easy to fall into the trap that it's the 28th of Feb. Okay, and we don't want to fall into that trap. Okay, so meaning they are working 1st June till 31st May. Okay, so if I go look here, they say on 1st June, meaning this is the beginning of the year. So many shares in issue. So, can you see they already gave it to me? But they didn't give me the opening, so I know this is going to balance back. Okay. The next thing is say 120,000 issued to the value of 2169. They give it to me. Then 28 February, a number of shares was repurchased at 220 Rand per share above the average price. Now this is important to remember, because remember, my shares has got three things I'm looking at. When I repurchase, I want the total price, the average, which goes to the capital, and the above average, which goes to the retained income. So this total is the one in the cash flow statement, because this is how much I pay for it. Okay. You guys with me? There's an answer sheet for you, baby. Okay, so now let's go look. The end of the year, they say I've got 620,000 shares left. 620,000. Can you see? So already I got a tick there. Now I can calculate how many shares did I repurchase. I have to work back. So when I reverse, when I have an answer, can you see this looks like an equation? Equation would look like 556 100 plus 120 minus x equals 620. So can you see, I'm literally just going to bring the 620 over and the x to that side. So I'm going to minus the 620. Or I can work it back like this. I say 620 and I bring the 120 over, that's a minus. I bring the 556 over, that's a minus. Do you see? You can decide which method works best for you. I like this one because I just say to myself, it's the answer, and then everything that is not the answer, I'm going to change the signs. And so how many did I repurchase?
96 100.
Okay. And there's another tick. Sharp. And you can be sure that in every question there's going to be a balancing, a reversing, every question. So make sure that you understand that. Okay. Now I have a problem because they do not give me anything else here. Can you see that? What did they give me though? They give me the above average is R2.20. Okay, so what am I going to do?
No, don't you do that. What do you call it again?
The UK. LAV. The NAV. Where did you see the NAV? Nowhere. Okay, so let's quickly think. If it's R2.20 more than average, let's say, I don't know. I'm all flabbergasted here. I don't know what to do. Let's quickly go back here and see.
The other note that has dividends and net profits.
Yeah, you guys are going too difficult. Quickly go here to the trial balance, to the balance sheet. What can you see here? There's at least one thing you can fill in. They gave us the total, and I know shareholders' equity is most ordinary share capital at retained income. So I can calculate the ordinary share capital. You see? Don't try. Can you see our brains are so focused on them trying to catch us out that they catch us out. Doesn't matter how easy they give it to us. So just always go again when you go into this, because I literally went into stress mode now. So just go back to all the information that they gave you. Okay? And then what do I get my ordinary share capital? I say 8512 less 1072, and that gives me, say again, 744,000. Okay, you see that's the closing. And what did I say to you? If I've got the closing, the average year is going to be the average year. You see that? So, if I say 620 7440000 divided 620, and please get into the habit of writing in threes. So it's going to be 12 rand. You see? And 56.1 times 12 gives me 67. And now what can I do? I reverse. So I say 744 and my signs are going to change. Plus 673 minus 2169 gives me what? You see? Now, everybody sharp. So now they ask me, calculate the following indicators for the year ended Okay? Now I want you to get full marks for this. Ne? Why? Because this is stuff you can study. You just need to go and sit and study your formats. Right. So, they say percentage net profit before tax on sales. Can you see it says on? And if it says on, I know it's a dividing. So, it's going to be net profit before over sales times 100. Okay. So now, where will I find net profit? Okay. So now if I look at this, net profit and sales are both income statement stuff. Nee. So I go look at the income statement and I see net profit before tax. What would have happened if they didn't give you net profit before tax, but they gave you net profit after tax? Always remember this. Net profit before minus tax gives you net profit after. So can you see they can give you any amount of info? You cannot even see a little bit of what I'm doing. Eh? Okay, so they could have given you net profit after. Then you know it's a reversal. You need to add the tax to get to before. They could have only given you tax and told you that percentage is 30%. Then you know this is always 100%. Less the tax gives you that one. So then you do the UK. Okay. But in this case it's easy. They gave us before tax. So it gives me 25,01070 over sales 11,420, 130 times 100, and you get your answer. Can I please ask you that you always show 2 decimals and then you round off? Okay. And don't write signs. Don't write signs, but make sure that your formula is right. Okay. Say again. No. Just as long as I can see both. Don't write it. So in the final exam, in the exams, they don't mark the signs. But if your sign is wrong, you lose your mark. What they do mark, how they mark it now, is they look for this. So if you have that, you can get this one. Okay. Net asset value, she tells me too much. She over shares. Nee. Times 100. So shareholders' equity they gave me. If they didn't give me shareholders' equity, I must know now. Shareholders' equity is the retained plus the ordinary share capital. Then they would have given you ordinary share capital and you would have added those two. Okay. Then shares, how many shares are in issue? So you go look, 620. And that gives me 1372. And you times with 100.
Yes.
Oh, okay, point
95.
95. So this is 1373 and this is cents. Okay? So what if I didn't say times 100? Let me just show you. If I didn't say times 100, my answer would have been 13.73. Can you see? But if I times with 100, my answer is then, because this is cents and this is rands. So if you have 100 there, you'll have a big figure. But if you don't have 100, you have a small comma with 2 decimals because it's cents. Is everybody with me? Remember, I'm here for you. I'm not here to rush. So if you're feeling I need to re-explain it, then I re-explain it. I just quickly want to try something. If I say to you, 100 divided 10, can you see this is 10? But 100 divided 10 times 100 is going to give me 1,000. Now, can you see this is a rand, this is cents. This rand is 0.00. Can you see that? And that's what I'm trying to say to you. So when there's no times, it's a rand and it's small. When there's a times, it's a cent and then it's got 4 figures. Here only 2. Okay. So, percentage return on capital employed. This is the largest thing we've got, ne? So we sing the song. It will be net profit before tax and interest over half she plus loan times 100. Okay, can you see this space they give us is way too small, but we don't care because we can go on. Okay. So, what is net profit before tax? It's the 2501,070. Interest, I'm going to look my interest expense. They give me 338,780. Can you see I'm plussing it? No. Okay. Take a over. Now this half here is going to take a lot of space. But it's important that you have that half, or you can say /2, whichever one is easier for you. So they give me the equity. It's 8512,300. The loan, can you see they don't give me the word loan here? There's no word here. So now I take the loan is 1.2 million. Now I have a problem. Can you see they didn't give me any way to calculate that? There's no way I can calculate it. Am I wrong? There's no way for me to calculate it. So I go back here and I look and I see, oh, they didn't say average capital employed. Can you see? So what's going to change? What's going to change is I'm no longer going to half it And I'm no longer going to say she plus loan twice.
So where does the 3 come from?
The 3 is my interest expense. So it's that interest on loan. Everybody sharp? Okay. Times 100. Remember, the times 100 is going to determine that you get a bagel there. So now let's see. What is the top? You leave it like that. Okay. Now can you see this is already 12 marks. And 12 marks is a lot. So please go do yourself a favor and learn all of these ratios here. What I think you should do is when you start studying for accounting, if you take all 5 the papers you got, 6 with this one, né? And you just go first, before you do anything else, you go and you study this ratios. You go practice that you get these ratios right. You go work out only those 3. Every time, you'll see it's always 3 or 4. Go quickly, go work them out of all 5 papers till you get 100%. Then you go on with the cash flow. Okay, you guys get it? So now let's go on. Yes.
And so we only use one shareholder club loan because they ask for a total and not the average.
Yes. So they are actually asking for this here. So the thing is, before you go into panic mode here, right? Before you go into panic mode here, you just first go back and see, did I read it right? And they didn't say on average capital employed. The word average indicates they want last year and this year. The word total or the word final indicates it's this year only. Okay. So, now they want me to complete the cash flow. So to complete the cash flow, let's have a look. So cash generated from operations. The first thing I need to know is this is a big calculation. So I'm going to leave this because most probably, if I look at this, can you see? Okay, let's first go on to the other ones. I've got dividends paid and I've got tax paid. So I've got brackets, ne? Cash flow, your brackets, very important. Then I've got buy fixed assets, sell fixed assets. And the buy fixed assets is also a bracket. Can you see there's a lot of grays, meaning they don't want you to total those things. Okay. Are you okay, my baby? Oh, she wants to move in. Okay. So dividends paid. I want you always to go look at what is the opening and what is the interim. Okay. Fixed assets, yeah. Buy fixed assets, sell fixed assets. Increase, decrease, fixed deposit. But they don't want it. So I would just, for safety's sake, just draw lines through all the grays that you are not tempted to go fill them in. Okay, you're going to waste time. So if I look at my dividends paid, that opening, ne, is if I go to shareholders for dividends. This is my opening and this is my closing. What is this? The old year is always my opening and the new year is always my closing. So I want the opening, the 415. So already you got one tick. Everybody can do that. But now comes the interim. And how are they going to ask me the interim? That is the question. Okay. So the interim, always remember, the interim is part of, if I have a total, it consists of the interim and the final. Now remember, I already got the final because the final is that closing one, 308. So now they can ask me the interim in 3 different ways. They can give it to me. They can say the interim dividends is 20 Rand. Okay? Or they can give me the total. Then I know the total less the final gives me the interim. Ne? Or they can give me the cents, where I have to say the shares times the cents. Okay, so that's the 3 ways they can give it to me. So now let's see. Here they say interim dividends of 35 cents. You see it's the third one. Of 35 cents per share were paid. Now, can you see they give me a date? Now, because they tell you a date, you want to go back here to the share capital. So, can you quickly draw for me a line where the 1st of October falls? So, can you see there's 1st of June, there's 30 September, there's 28 February. Can you see they declared it there? So how many shares were in issue when they declared the interim dividends? And can you see they didn't say, oh, the new shares don't qualify for it. They don't say that. So let's quickly look. What is 556 plus 120? 6. And I'm going to times it with 35 cents. And that gives me what? And now I add those two to give me the payment, whole thing. And you do it again. So it's 651.
635.
Okay. Is everybody happy with this one? No problems. Top. So now let's go look at the tax. So the tax is always your T. Please don't try and do it other ways, because most of the times you just don't get it right. So what I want you to do is I want you to, there's enough space here. You should do the T here. And you say to yourself, I've got an opening and a closing and a bank and an income tax. Receivable and payable, receivable and payable. Okay. Now, I want you to remember the following. Current assets equals debit equals receivables. Now, I'm not talking because can you see here receivables is on the credit side. So that debit, it just means this is how they give the info. If they give the info like this and they give it to you as a current asset, it's a receivable. If they give it to you as a debit balance, it's a receivable. Okay? If they give it to you as a current liability or a credit, it's a payable. Okay? This isn't necessarily the sides in the T. Okay? This just tells me if it's a R or a P. A receivable or a payable. Okay, now let's go look. In 2024, where do I see SARS? I see SARS with payables. Payables means credit, you see? So I put it in there, the 40 to 100. So that's my opening. So let's go look at the closing. So the closing I see with the receivables. And can you see now the receivables is also credit? Because I'm talking closing now, ne? So it's 60,900. Everybody with me? So where's my tax? My tax, I go back to the income statement. And there I see tax is 792,400. And it's extremely important that the marker can see this, because in the cash flow they mark your calculations. Okay, so I'm going to add all three and it's going to give me my total tax. So be careful, be very careful, because this income tax that they give me here is my expense. This is the one in the income statement, it's that one. Okay? Read what this one says. Exactly. So we didn't have to go do this calculation. They gave me that. Can you guys see it? Sure. So, but it's good because then we did this and we can see that this gives us that. These two, they both gave me. And you need to be able to differentiate between the two. Yeah? Are we fine?
On the T account, where did you get the 60,000 number?
Yeah. Sharp. Is everybody sharp?
I don't understand why they're not giving me income tax.
Okay. We didn't have to do the calculation. Okay? Because they actually already gave me the answer. Does that answer your question? Not really. Ask it again.
So when you're sitting in a test, you think this is the one you have to add for.
Yeah. And that's the catch. Because of the word paid. This is my expense. This is the one that goes in the income statement. This is what I owe. So can you see I actually paid more than what I owe. And can you see that is why in the end we have a debit balance, the receivable. And you can see if you take that 792,400, this one, just add for me that 6,900. No, it won't work out. Why won't it work out? Because we also paid this one. Okay, I just wanted to test something, but my theory was wrong. Okay, but you understand the difference. You sharp now? Okay. So, let me start a new video. Up